We're here on day 2 of Dentistry Show London, and I'm joined by Dr. Rachel Darby. Rachel, how do you think your session just went?
Well, I think it went really, really well, and I had my toughest critic in the crowd, which was my 4-year-old daughter, and she seemed to listen for 5 minutes of it before iPad and YouTube went.
Did you get good reviews?
From her, I think so. She is a very hard taskmaster. But no, I absolutely loved it. I think everybody's really engaging as well. You know, the questions that were asked afterwards, my goodness, very, very thought-provoking. And, I could see people nodding sagely along. And, it's always good to get a few hands up in the crowds as well, just to go, what are people doing and how do they feel things are working for them? So, yeah, really pleased with it. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. Today, your session was about how not to screw up your composites. What made you want to do that as a particular session?
Well, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek. We don't really want people to screw up their composites. I'm just saying that because GDC are behind us as we speak. But, I'm very, very passionate. I'm part of the BAPD. I'm president of the BAPD. And one of our main ethos is quality dentistry. And quality will be different for everybody else. And it is about doing what's best for you in that time. And sometimes it's good to, rehash the basics and to go, well, actually, yes, this is making more sense, or I don't quite do that, and this is the reason for it. So I thought, let's take it back to basics. Let's go over and, reinvigorate a tired subject, because everybody's always like, how to do composites. So I thought I'd just reverse that, bit tongue-in-cheek, and just make it a little bit more fun.
You had a full house for the session. For all those attendees that joined, what was maybe the one key takeaway you hoped they would come away from?
I think the one key takeaway is, if we want to do high quality, predictable dentistry, there's not one thing that's going to fit all, whether that's the matrix system, the bonding system, the clamps that you're going to use, the instruments you're going to use. You need a plethora of different instruments in your arsenal for it in order to do high quality, predictable dentistry.
Rachel, recently you've joined our advisory board for Dentistry Show London and Dentistry Show Birmingham. As part of that, we obviously look ahead to the future and we look at everything that's happening in the world of dentistry. What, in your opinion, do you think needs to change currently in the world of dentistry, particularly in light of the recent election?
Well, I would say the profession needs to... It needs to, what we almost had in COVID times, where the profession actually did something and they spoke to other organisations and they put their opinions across and they worked together. It seems that everybody's reverted back to their own castles, which is fine. We're not in a crisis anymore. So we just need to reinvigorate the profession and get them speaking again and getting them giving their opinions about it, especially with this new government, which quite frankly have done damn all so far, despite the fact they're going to solve everything in 100 days. But, there we are.
And do you think, in terms of their in-trade, are you expecting them to look at the dental contract, and do you think there'd be anything substantive changing there?
Well, they promised they would, didn't they? But, I have been at meetings with the government, and, as part of BAPD, we're trying to get meetings with the government, and despite our best efforts, they don't seem to want to speak to us. But if I'm being honest, and probably more my opinion, I can't see the government changing too much, because I think they're on to a good deal with UDS, so I can't see them changing any type of units of activity, which is disappointing. They really do need to overhaul the whole system, and you need somebody to be brave for that, and I just don't think this government are up to that task.
Well, on a lighter note, as part of our, these events go on over the years and everything else, what do you think, why do you think they're so good? Why do you think they're so valuable? So Dentistry Show Birmingham, Dentistry Show London, why do people keep coming back? And you've joined us many times now. What do you like about them?
It's a day away from the child, except this time she's come today. But, I really like the atmosphere, especially, COVID was, yes, it was 4 years ago, but it really affected everybody. So we're now getting back to meeting people, to networking again, because dentistry can be quite lonely. It's just you and a nurse and 4 walls and a different person that comes in every time telling you that they hate you. So it's really nice to be with like-minded people, seeing all of the new stuff that's going on, all of the AI stuff that's going on. It's really fascinating to see that. And yeah, it's just really lovely to be speaking to people, listening to lectures, gaining your CPD and meeting the trade and see what's new and what's happening and how to bring that into practice.
Rachel, that was brilliant. Thank you very much. We'll be back later with more interviews from day 2 of Dentistry Show London. Thank you. Thanks, Rachel.